Hey, what's up guys? It's Frozone here. I'm a Warzone content creator for XSET, and this is this week's Nerf or Buff. All right guys, if something is absolutely underrated, we're going to buff it. And if something's, overrated, we're going to nerf it. All right, let's go. All right, hamsters. I don't think I've actually ever seen a hamster.
Who's that?
We're gonna have to buff the hamsters. I would love to see a hamster. Maybe pet one, hang out with one. But hamsters, well, let's buff hamsters. Chipotle.
Chipotle is my life.
Absolutely underrated. Still to this day, I would still say we need to buff Chipotle. Better than Chick-fil-A, better than Five Guys. Buff Chipotle. Through the roof, let's get it. Warzone, but with a controller. We're gonna have to nerf this. Nerf this to the god dirt, ladies and gentlemen. It's considered cheating at this point. Nerf it. Get it out of here. Gone. Dogs. Dogs, man's best friend. We're gonna have to buff this. Extremely, I would say underrated, but I can never see myself owning a cat. You know what I mean? So dogs all the way. We're gonna buff the dogs. We love dogs. My dog, his name is Toby. He's a Pomeranian. He whines a lot, but still my best pal. Like they can be annoying, but best buds for life. Verdansk, aka Warzone. Now that we're this far into Warzone, I'm gonna have to say nerf. It's super overrated now because it's so overpopulated. There hasn't been any changes. There's been nothing going on, nothing different. We're nerfing Verdansk and we are looking for new changes. Nerf it. Get it out of here. Minnesota. I think we gotta buff Minnesota. I think Minnesota is a great state, minus the taxes, the winters. We do get to explore all seasons throughout the year. I've been in Minnesota my whole life. Haven't ever left, never lived anywhere else, but I actually really enjoy living here. So buff Minnesota. The Fargo movie or TV show? What's crazy? I've actually never ever seen the movie or TV show. I remember seeing a trailer for it and I got so mad because they were purposely trying to put on the Minnesota accent, the so-called accent that we have, don't you know, over yonder there, bud. But we're gonna have to nerf Fargo. The accent's too strong. We're gonna have to nerf it. Nerf it now. Valorant. Oh man, let's buff Valorant. I really enjoy playing Valorant and I have a lot of fun playing Valorant and I want to play more and explore more and really grind it, but all my time is consumed of Warzone and Call of Duty. So let's buff Valorant. I think it's a really good game. Russ Daddy. Good old Russ Daddy. Listen, I haven't known Russ for very long, but we need a buff. We need to buff Russ. I think he's a nice, kind lad. Although he does use a controller, so basically cheating on Warzone. I do like the kind lad. So let's buff Russ. I think more people need to find out more about Russ. The Wolf of Wall Street. I've actually have never seen the movie Wolf of Wall Street. So I'm not sure if I can buff it or nerf it because I know there's some very, very passionate individuals that love that movie. So I guess I'll say buff just because I haven't seen it. But then again, I'm not sure. We'll just go with buff. We'll go with buff. I've never seen it.
The show goes on!
Contact lenses. Most definitely overrated. They're overrated. Let's nerf. Dude, I don't know, man. I don't mind. Let's nerf them. They're overrated. Let's get them out of here. Twitter is definitely, we gotta buff Twitter. We gotta buff it. I love Twitter. Hands down, my favorite platform. Better than all the oldies on Facebook and all these little children on TikTok. Let's just keep buffing Twitter. It's the best platform. Let's go. The Built for Play merchandise, ladies and gentlemen. We're buffing this. We're buffing this through the roof. You see that? Absolutely god tier, comfortable, quality, Built for Play. Let's get it going. Let's buff it. Make sure you guys buy it. Make sure you guys get that. Buff it. We're buffing it. The RTX 3090, the graphics card, the GPU. I finally have the 3090 coming in on, I think Friday. Next Friday, Saturday or something like that. So I hope that we're gonna keep on buffing it. Maybe it's overrated, maybe it's not, but I'm not sure. I don't know how to answer that one yet. So when I go from my 100 FPS in Warzone to 200 plus FPS in Warzone, I'm gonna keep on buffing it. If it's great, it might be a great GPU. The bot lobby in Warzone. We need more of these. We need more of these. Get skill-based matchmaking out of the game. We want to kill the bots. We want to drop 30 kills every single game. Bot lobbies. Let's buff the bot lobbies. Let's get them in there. Let's get after it, and let's get more kills in Warzone. We're gonna buff the bot lobbies. Rebirth Island. For the longest time, I thought Rebirth Island was overrated and that we would have to nerf it. But now that I've finally been grinding Rebirth Island the last like week or so, we're gonna have to buff Rebirth Island. We have to. I've been having so much fun playing it. We can do a lot more content. There's a lot more action. You have more lives. You can do a lot more stuff with Rebirth Island. Let's buff Rebirth Island. Sniping in Warzone. Sniping in Warzone is extremely fun. It might be kind of easy, but I think it's hands down like one of the best things about Call of Duty is sniping. It's always feels good. It's very, very fun to do. And so I think we have to buff it. I think it's still underrated. I think more and more people should start sniping. It's just really fun to do. So let's buff sniping in Warzone. Hey, thank you guys for tuning into this week's Nerfer Buff, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys to tune in next week for another one. Bye. Bye. Oh, okay. He said bye too.